Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic related to COPD. It's a disease of respiratory system known as pneumoconiosis. Now, how do we define pneumoconiosis? It is a generic name covering the group of lung disorders which result from inhalation of inorganic dust. It is to be understood inhalation of dust. It's not only the dust that you relate to the sand, but it can be dust of a finer quality or of a particular size of particles which are inorganic in nature, and also uh, they are inhaled in a bulk quantity. So it's a deposition in lungs which is occurring over a long period of time due to regular inhaling. So this pneumoconiosis usually is defined under the heading of occupational diseases. So and the classification of pneumoconiosis, it's usually divided in three. It is major, minor, and benign pneumoconiosis. So what is major pneumoconiosis? So we'll define with each type. Inhalation of some dust results in major fibrosis of lungs, which results in interference of lung architect or lung function tests. So it's important to understand that there is major fibrosis, that is deposition of fibrin due to a result of end of inflammatory stage. So whenever these dust particles will enter, they will elicit a series of inflammatory reactions, and then it will settle down by the process of healing by deposition of fibrin, which causes major fibrosis of lungs. Now, due to this fibrosis, there are alteration or changes in two things. That is, first is the lung architecture. What is lung architecture? That is the content or the shape or this diameters of bronchioles or the arrangement or how the the alveoli would look like. So deposition of these dust will obviously change the shape and structure of the lung. Also, it will affect the liver function. So, sorry, lung function, not liver function. So, lung function would be changed by the capacities and volumes. That is, we have different capacities and different volumes of lungs. They will get altered. So what we have here is like how different type of dust particle causes so diseases like silica, deposition of silica causes silicosis, asbestos causes asbestosis, talc causes talcosis, and here it is our one, this is anthracosis, also known as pneumoconiosis or poll workers pneumoconiosis. Now, what is minor pneumoconiosis? Inhalation of some dust result in minor fibrosis of the lungs. There is minimal fibrosis of the lungs without interference of lung architecture or lung function test. So, major and minor pneumoconiosis would have a difference of the severity of the disease, whereas this major structural changes were seen in the major pneumoconiosis, whereas in minor pneumoconiosis, minimal change could be seen. And the lung function test may be at par normal or below normal. Uh, these, which are the dust particles? Clay, kaolin, mica, and feldspar. Uh, dust particles which might cause minor pneumoconiosis. So major and minor pneumoconiosis together are known as fibrotic pneumoconiosis. Why? Because they do elicit a series of reaction, inflammatory reaction, which causes at end will cause fibrosis. Now, what is benign pneumoconiosis? There isn't any reaction in the lung, but dust deposition cast in shadow in X-ray of the lung. There is no fibrosis and no disturbance of lung function. So this will benign, see the term benign here is referring to the term that it is confined to a particular location. Secondly, due to this deposition, there would be a shadow in the X-ray, you can see the depositions, but this deposition will not excite any inflammatory reaction. It will not lead into any fibrosis. So the architect of lung might get altered a bit due to the deposition, but the function remains normal. Examples of benign pneumoconiosis. It can result from inhalation of iron dust, known as sidrosis, tin dust, stenosis, and calcium dust, cheilicosis. The teachers who use chalk for teaching might suffer from cheilicosis. Teachers using chalk causing cheilicosis. They are characterized by presence of small, round, dense opacities on the chest film in X-ray due to perivascular collection of dust. Hilar lymph nodes may be prominent when the deposit in the lung disappears when exposure is discontinued due to the regular cleaning activity or the disposal activities or phagocytic activity of macrophages present in the lung. This is a pictorial diagram. This black colored depositions can be seen in different parts of lung. This is a transverse section of lung. It's quite understandable. Now the pathogenesis, the development of pneumoconiosis depends on the amount of dust retained in the lungs and airway, the size, shape, and the buoyancy of the particle. If they are quite heavier, they would stay in the upper respiratory tract. But if they are lighter and the size is small, they have a tendency to sweep down to the last or the terminal part of the air tract. Solubility and physiochemical reactivity, and the possible addition effect of other irritants. Example, concomitant tobacco smoke. So, if a person suffering from any pneumoconiosis infection or is in a constant exposure to dust, and if it is associated with tobacco smoking, then its effect might get exaggerated or effect might exaggerate or increase many folds. So the pathogenesis or the development of pneumoconiosis depends on these four facts: the amount of dust, the type of particle, its physical properties like shape, size, and buoyancy. Also, its chemical property, physiochemical reactivity and solubility, and effect associated with other dust. The amount of dust retained in the lung is determined by or how much amount of dust your lungs can handle. It depends on dust concentration in the surrounding air, duration of exposure, and effectiveness of clearance mechanism. So if obviously the concentration is more, or the duration of exposure is more, the more would be the dust retained in the lungs. And how your lung is clearing up those dust particles is also. The size, shape, and buoyancy of the particle. The most dangerous particle range from 1 to 5 micron in diameter because they may reach the terminal small airway and air sac and settle in their lining. So smaller the particle, as I said, smaller the particle, the more further it will flow with the air tract. So they will reach the air sacs or the alveoli and settle in their lining. Here, if they settle, they would cause prominent fibrosis. And as you know, alveoli are known to expand and relax. So if they will undergo fibrosis, so their expansion would decrease. And that would cause uh, decrease in the oxygen or the gaseous exchange taking place in the alveoli. The solubility and cytotoxicity of particle modify the nature of pulmonary response. Smaller particles tend to cause acute lung injury, that is, more severe would be the injury. Larger particle resist dissolution and so may persist within. The lung parenchyma for years tend to evoke fibrosing and collagenous pneumoconiosis. Deposition of collagen may also occur if the particles are smaller in size. So smaller size particles are more dangerous. Larger ones may remain in the lung for a quite long period of time. So the clearing mechanism of our lung is important. The pulmonary alveolar macrophage is the key cellular element in the initiation and perpetuation of lung injury, and fibrosis is also elicited by these macrophages as a part of clearance. Also, they initiate the process of inflammation, and also the fibrosis process is followed after the inflammation. The more reactive particle trigger the macrophage to release a number of products that can mediate an inflammatory response and initiate fibroblast proliferation and collagen deposition. Right? We have understood this, that how the clearing mechanism will also elicit the inflammatory response. Thank you. That was all about pneumoconiosis. You can go through your books also regarding this. Thank you.